Hey all, here at OS Reviews. So recently we checked out a few pairs of TWS wireless buds from Seoul. This included the cute and ultra small S Nano, along with the last pair, the Sync ANC, which has active noise cancellation built on in. But today we're taking a look at yet another option, which is technically their flagship. These Emotion Pro buds also have active noise cancellation, but what's new is that these now support a companion application available for iOS and Android, and the other buds don't at the moment. A few other details that have been added to this Emotion Pro include support for Qi wireless charging, with battery life here up to 36 hours with the casing, and that's with ANC turned off. With ANC on, it's a little closer to around 24 hours or so, which is still competitive. They do have 10mm drivers, which are dynamic, and it's a little bit larger than average. These are IPX5, so they're sweat resistant. If you get some water on them or rain, they should still survive. The company has also been moving into sustainable packaging recently, so there's going to be more parts here that are recyclable and more simple, just to make it more eco-friendly. So basically there's a tissue paper, and underneath it we'll see just the buds on top. Then underneath this, as far as accessories are concerned, we'll have access to the assortment of Type-C charging cable, along with a included clip that you can use to attach it with the little lanyard hook that is an accent and present on all of their wireless buds so far. It's a nice little detail. A set of silicone tips to get a more snug fit, along with the user guide and a sticker that proudly stamps the 10th year anniversary. So taking a closer look at the battery case here, we do have the blue version, and overall it looks pretty attractive. It's made out of a polycarbonate plastic. Here's a quick size comparison with the Sync ANCs that we saw from before. One difference here is the Sync ANCs did have a soft touch rubber coating over the case, versus these have more of just a kind of a matte surface to them, but they still resist fingerprints and overall looks quite clean with these angular corners. And here they are next with the S Nanos, which you can see are still definitely smaller, but casing here is pretty compact considering these are fully featured ANC buds with wireless charging. And then here they are next to the regular AirPods. They're going to be a touch larger, but still easy to slide into pockets. Otherwise, we have notification lights on the front, which will glow to tell you the power percentage remaining. On the base here, there's just the contact for the Qi charging, or you can rely on the wired USB Type-C port on the back. So if we pop open the lid, the buds will basically automatically turn on and start to pair with your device. And I do really like the design and shape that they're going for with these Emotion Pro buds. It looks quite distinctive, reminds me of in-ear monitors, mostly used by artists. They just seem a bit more professional and slightly more distinctive compared to the Sync ANCs from before. They didn't look quite as bold, and these, by contrast, again, these sharp edges make it stand out just a touch more. The touch controls on the front, which you can use to do pretty much everything, including changing the volume higher or lower by tapping once or twice, which is really awesome. Again, it's a feature that I want to see on pretty much all pairs of buds, but to this day, there are still lots of options that are omitting that functionality, so it's great to see that these have them, in addition to changing between the ANC effects, going into play, pause, skip tracks. Pretty much everything that you want to do can be accessed using the controls. Otherwise, there's a LED status light, and they look pretty discreet when you're wearing them because there is no long stem sticking out. They fit into place quite well. They were nice and secure. And here's a demo of the wireless charging in action. Just pop it along and we'll see it basically start to charge almost immediately with the LED lights here starting to flash along. And the companion app Soul Plus is designed exclusively for these buds at the moment. You can open it up and it has a pretty attractive interface, which allows us to see the power percentage remaining on the left and right sides, as well as change between the ANC effects, having it off in the normal mode, ANC, or the transparency audio mode. It allows you to have conversations without even removing them from your ears. And then finally, we have an equalizer section that you have the ability to change the sound signature that you are listening to, including jazz. You can see how that changed different frequencies of the sound to emphasize, let's say, the mids, for example. Rock will also go into a different shape or a V-shaped signature. Here's blues, vocal, will bump up the trebles a little bit more. We also have bass, again, that will bump up the lower frequency sounds, and other options as well. Billboard, classical, soft can all make a bit of a difference as you are listening to music. A couple of things that are missing from the app at the moment, however, would be a dedicated gaming mode. Would be nice to see, but that's something they can consider adding in the future, as well as the ability to, say, remap the controls. Moving into audio quality and performance, overall sound of the Emotion Pros are quite solid. It's a clean clean pair of buds, so they don't really have too much static or distortion in the background aside from the music itself that you're listening to, and they indeed pack quite a punch in terms of bass. So if you're listening to a drum beat or EDM style music, it really kicks and is quite satisfying. Mids also sounded great in terms of instrumentals, although if you're being super nitpicky and you're an audiophile, I would still say trebles could be even more crisp in terms of packing in, let's say, a touch more detail. But that's also comparing it with more expensive buds that have even more delicate tuning and hi-fi certification. I think for the price that it sits at, it already sounds great, especially for casual music listening, for pop music. It's perfectly sufficient. Watching YouTube videos or Netflix, and the audio and video are synced together pretty well. When it comes to active noise cancellation, they were also pleasant and made a difference with it turned on. Unsurprisingly, if you are in a room that has engine sounds, or if you have a fan noise going on in the background, these do get suppressed. Might not be to the same extent as a pair of Sonys or Boses, which are still kind of the ones to beat in that area, but these are solid enough. I would say maybe getting you close to 85 or 90% effectiveness versus on Sonys and Boses, closer to 95%. So that's more or less it as far as our hands-on review of the Soul Emotion Pro. Again, now the flagship pair of wireless buds from this company. They also pack an impressive set of features for the price point. So you can check out more details if you're interested in the links down below. The most fully featured pair of buds we've seen from Soul yet. These have been the Emotion Pros.